DTV visits CHOC, Childhood Cancer Foundation in Johannesburg.
You are braver, braver than you think. You are smarter, smarter than you know. You are stronger, stronger than you seem. And you've got places still to go. Not a war you chose to wage. But you have earned each battle scar. There are warriors and angels. Be the warrior you are.
When and why was CHOC established?
CHOC Childhood Cancer Foundation was established in 1976 by Sister Sadie Cutland. She was a nursing sister at the hospital and her daughter was diagnosed with cancer at a young age. So she started this CHOC with a group of other parents who were in the same position. And it was really just about providing support, and it just grew over the years to provide much more holistic support for children living with cancer and their families.
How has CHOC grown through the years?
CHOC soon realized that a lot of the parents who were at the ward were just not financially able to come to Johannesburg as often or to find accommodation for them to stay at while their child was in the hospital. And it was then that they decided to buy a CHOC house, which is where we are today in Saxonwold. It's really a place where parents and family or their kids can come and stay while they're going through treatment. It just relieves that financial burden of having to know they don't have anywhere to stay when they're here. And we also provide transport. And that was in Johannesburg. And then suddenly it just started to grow as a national organization. And we now work in 5 regions in the country and have programs throughout most of the country. We also have a psychosocial support program, which is really one of our core programs, a flagship project for CHOC. We have social workers in many of the pediatric oncology units in the hospitals. It's about making sure that the family is dealing with the situation they are in, providing that counselling. If the child is being prepared for death, that they actually provide that bereavement counselling for the family, help them through that process.
We are young, we are strong, and we will sing this song together, so sing along. As one, we will rise, we won't give up the fight until the night yields to the sun. We are
Where does CHOC get funding?
We're not subsidised by the government at all. We do sometimes receive money from the national lotteries, which has been very helpful. We get a lot of money from individuals, corporates, whether they're small or big, trusts and foundations. We also hold a lot of events, which not only create awareness for us, but also generate some income. And that's what gets us through the year.
Let's meet a man who has raised 28 million for CHOC. Tell us about what inspired you to raise funds for CHOC.
November 2008, and a friend of ours, Grant and Karen, their daughter Jessica passed away at 22 months, and they'd been exposed to CHOC and what CHOC did for children with cancer. And I've always done races, different races for different charities. So they got hold of me and we decided that we'd try and put something together to raise money for the 947 Cycle Challenge.
How did you end up being seen in a cow suit all over South Africa?
The goal was for 6 people to raise 10,000 Rand each. So the whole goal was to raise 60,000 Rand for this race. And we sent one of our guys, Steve, to the hiring shop the following day. And the only thing that he could find 6 of the same were cow suits. So that's how we became the cows.
How successful was the first venture?
In just over 2 weeks, we raised 232,000 Rand. So we figured we couldn't leave it there. We needed to carry on with the fundraising endeavors.
How big is the herd and how does one join?
We've had a couple of thousand people that have come through the ranks along the route. How do you join? Just go to www.thecows.co.za. Jump onto that, and then all the information is there. And Daisy, who looks after all of our communication, she'll reply with an email pretty promptly, and then we'll give you all the blurb and all the information that's required to join.
Briefly share the early warning signs of childhood cancer with us.
CHOC uses this Insiluin method. The S stands for seek. So if your child has persistent symptoms, you really need to seek medical help straight away. The I is for the eye. If the child has white spots in the eye, there's a new squint that has maybe developed, the child has developed some sort of blindness, or the eyeball is actually bulging and it's quite visible, you really need to seek help as well. The L stands for lumps. If there's a lump in your abdomen or your pelvis, your head and your neck, the limbs, testes or glands, you need to consult your doctor straight away. If you have any unexplained symptoms or prolonged fever that lasts for more than 2 weeks, the child is starting to lose weight, the pallor, getting quite pale, they're feeling tired or fatigued, they are easily bruising and bleeding, then those are unexplained symptoms that normal children don't really get, and then you need to also consult with your doctor. Interestingly, the A stands for aching, and a lot of children generally don't have aches and pains. So if the child is complaining of a back pain or any bones that are aching or joints, it really is advisable to see a doctor as well. Then the N stands for neurological signs. Any change in how the child walks, the child can't balance, they tend to be falling over, or they're unable to speak properly or slurring slowly. Any regression of milestones, so whereas the child was starting to walk, suddenly stops walking and starts crawling, that is something you need to look for. Headaches that last more than a week with the child vomiting, and it's not just vomiting, it's a projectile vomit that just comes out of nowhere. The child will be walking, will vomit, and mom and child will be like, where did that come from? So it's a specific type of vomiting. And particularly if the head starts to get swollen, there could be an indication that there's something wrong in the brain. So one should consult their doctor as well.
Why is early intervention so important?
1 in 408 children under the age of 15 will be diagnosed with cancer. It's still a pretty rare disease, but it does happen. The figures are difficult to tell in South Africa because not all children are being diagnosed.
We are